I'm Samuel Johnson, and today we're talking about consumer behavior. This right here is my consumer Marley. She just woke up from a nap and she's already had her first potty. So she's basically only got two other needs that she could want to fulfill: playing and eating. In front of us here, we have a few alternatives that she could consider: a doggy biscuit, a tennis ball, a bacon strip, and a puppy Kong. Four alternatives that are pretty similar, two of which will satisfy the need of playing, two of which will satisfy the need of eating, and the puppy Kong will actually satisfy a little bit of both, playing and eating. But to understand the consumer, you need to understand the decision-making process. First, we need to know what the problem is. She's already satisfied sleeping, and she's already satisfied going to the potty. So she's really only got two to choose. Which one will she choose? She's a puppy, she can't answer that, so we can only guess and see by her reactions to which one she chooses. You go get one. Go get one. She chose the puppy Kong. The puppy Kong filled with peanut butter. I put four of her most favorite items out here: the biscuit, the tennis ball, the bacon strip, and the puppy Kong. She absolutely loves tennis balls. She gets a biscuit every time she goes in her crate, when I go to work or if I go to school for a long period of time. And the bacon strip is absolutely her favorite. Only on special occasions does she ever get the Kong filled with peanut butter, but she uses the Kong all the time as a toy. So it was like an added bonus. By far of the four, being the one that could be a toy and could be a, snack, would probably been the smartest one. But the better you know your purchaser, the better you know your customer, the better you can plan, the better you can market, all around. She doesn't get it very often. Odds are I could have guessed that, I knew she was going to go that way. But if I did this 4 different times, I could have 4 potential different results. It's all about when I offer it to her, or, she could even decide to go ahead and steal the bacon after she finished with the puppy Kong and the peanut butter. We got a little greedy consumer over here. But the better you know your purchaser, the better you can plan, and planning is everything in marketing. You can just target who you need to, and you can see where you're competing, where you're falling behind. First, let's start with the definition. Consumer behavior is the process involved when individuals or groups select, purchase, use, and dispose of goods, services, ideas, or experiences to satisfy their needs and desires. So to truly understand consumer behavior, first we're going to really need to understand the consumer decision process. The consumer decision process is first recognizing the problem, 2, searching the problem, information search, 3, evaluation of alternatives, 4, selecting a product, 5, the post-purchase evaluation, and then cycling all the way back up to the top, problem recognition. Because most major purchases, like a house, a car, anything that we buy really, we're going to buy more than once in our lifetime. Now, the time that we spend on this decision-making process could really vary too. If we're going to buy a house, it's going to be something we're paying on for the next 30 years. We're really going to want to make sure we make a smart choice. We really do the research. We, evaluate all our alternatives. If it's just going to be a candy bar that we buy out of a machine, it's not really going to affect anything other than it's going to make me unhappy for a little bit. Oh well, it's just $1. Not all decisions are made in the same way, not in the same fashion, timely manner. Researchers would like to think that, every person goes ahead and they make a smart, educated decision, and we all know that that's not true. Involvement and perceived risk are two important things that go into the decision-making process. Involvement is the relative importance of perceived consequences of the purchase to a customer, and perceived risk is the belief that choices of a product potentially has negative consequences, whether financially, physically, or social. So, for instance, you're going to go ahead and buy a house and you're going to have a 30-year mortgage. You're going to really, really have some financial, physical, and social benefits attached to that. You're going to want to make a very educated, wise choice. You're going to want to research your options, and you definitely want to evaluate your alternatives. Something like a candy bar out of a snack machine, relatively inexpensive, only costs $1. If it doesn't work out or it's stale, you don't like it, you throw it away, it's only $1. It's not going to really mean the end of the world to you. Not something you're going to be paying for 30 years, obviously. Okay, so the first step in the decision making process is problem recognition. You need to find out what your problem is. the process that occurs when the customer sees a significant difference between his current state of affairs and something that has to be desired or an ideal state. This recognition is basically the trigger or what initiates him to go ahead and start furthering his research into what kind of possession he wants. Step two of the consumer decision making process is information search. That is basically the process where a customer searches for appropriate information relating to the decision that they're going to be making on what they're purchasing. It could be internal or external. Some examples of internal is basically somebody asked you, where do you want to go for lunch? And you're thinking in your head and you're compiling a whole list of, places like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, KFC. You're weighing the pros and the cons and you're doing this all inside your head. That's an internal search of what you already know from all those places since you've been to all those. Some examples of an external search would be, for example, if you're looking to buy a house, you would go ahead and look at Better Homes magazine. You'd go out and use the newspaper. You might Google your location, find out where has the best schools, the best neighborhoods, best parks, all to go ahead and educate your decision on where you might want to buy a house. Step three is evaluation of alternatives. Dimensions that customers use to compare competing products and alternatives. This could range anywhere from price, power, color, size, comfort, style, location if it's a house, so on and so forth. Step four is product choice. Most researchers would like us to think that we go ahead and we make a great decision. We always educate ourselves, we think our purchases through, and that's not always true. A lot of customers, definitely use heuristics, a mental rule of thumb that leads to a speedy decision by simplifying the process. Some customers might be brand loyal. Myself, my favorite type of tennis shoe is definitely going to be Nikes. Almost all my shoes are Nikes. Yes, I have other brands, but I'm very loyal to that brand. I think they have the best. I feel like they just are the best just because they've been around forever and their product might be superior to their competition. But I have bought a lot of Nikes my entire life, and I definitely feel like I would be at least brand loyal. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people in this world that are. And presentation. The presentation on a product is very important. What color it is, does it pop to the consumer? More often than not, consumers are going to buy something that, makes their eyes, it catches their eyes in the aisle, or, it's put in a location where, the company is trying to sell it to you. Finally, and most importantly, in my opinion, is the post-purchase evaluation. Customer satisfaction or dissatisfaction with their product. I know I've been there, I know we've all been there, that we bought something and then we're thinking, why did I do that? That wasn't a smart purchase, I wish I could go ahead and return it. Probably can't, it might be too late. We've all bought something, hopefully, too, then the fact where we've all bought something we've been very satisfied. It goes both ways. We've all made good purchases and we've all made bad purchases. And the way that we can make good purchases is by, really studying consumer behavior, making smart, educated choices. Doesn't mean that they will always be good and smart choices, but, it'll help limit those bad ones. As a company, cognitive dissonance is an anxiety or regret the consumer might feel from choosing a different product as opposed to yours. And at least I know from my personal experience at Sears, you want to make sure you take care of your customers. You want them to come back. Customers don't purchase one time, one and done. They come back time after again and again and again. Even for cars and houses. You're going to buy a car every 10 years and, you might buy one or two houses during the course of your lifetime. But usually ever is it one and done. You're going to want them to come back to you. You're going to want to take care of your customer. Because when you take care of your customer is going to tell your friends, they're going to tell your family, they're going to come back for one. It's going to bring you more money. You're going to get a reputation that you take care of the customer and that you're a customer-friendly oriented business. And word of mouth goes far. People's recommendation is absolutely the best kind of recommendation. Nobody's trying to sell you something. They're just saying, hey, this person took care of me. They had good customer service. I think, they did an outstanding job and I would go back to them. I think you should go there for your next purchase. And thank yous and service. At Sears, we call every customer and we tell them thank you for making a purchase. We make sure their appliances are functioning correctly. They have any questions, we'll go ahead and help them out. They have any complaints, we'll also take those too. But we want to make sure that the customer knows that we care and that we still have, all the service and the know-how to get their problems solved. So to recap, the consumer decision process in the case of my puppy Marley. The problem was she only had 2 of her 4 needs satisfied. She just woke up, so she wasn't sleepy. She just went to the potty, so she didn't have to go. She was only 2 things that she could have wanted to do. She could have wanted to play, or she could have wanted to eat. So inside that tiny little head of hers, she's thinking, do I want to play or do I want to eat? Didn't have to do any kind of external research, all internal there. And then she evaluated the alternatives. She had the choice between a puppy Kong full of peanut butter, a bacon strip, or she could have took the biscuit. What led her to the decision of the Kong full of peanut butter, I'm not so sure. But that's what she did sure choose, and I sure could tell that she was happy with, basically her purchase or her decision. Her tail was a wagging a mile a minute. She was really happy, and she really enjoyed it. Ate it quite quickly, and then went and stole the bacon, which I guess was the second best alternative. That's consumer behavior. I'm Samuel Johnson. That's Marley. Thank you for watching.